Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. This is Hamza Foy with Ihya502 podcast. I figured today I'm going to share this monologue discussing the conception of Ihya502, its format, and its goals. So I ended up founding Ihya502 after listening to one of my favorite podcasts, which is Hardcore History by Dan Carlin. Growing up, my young adult life, I've been fascinated with podcasts. I listen to many different podcasts. We're talking Islamically themed segments by Safina Society, by the Mad Mamluks. I listen to Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, which is a long-form podcast about history, and I also listen to the sports variety podcasts such as Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. So I was listening to an episode of Hardcore History. Dan Carlin was discussing the different technologies that developed and allowed more and more of the population to have access to information from around the world. We're talking technologies such as the World Wide Web, the internet, computers, the television. And he was actually discussing one that we don't really think about as much, especially in our current times. But he was discussing the radio. He was relating a story about President Franklin Roosevelt. He would have his fireside chats in which he was basically delivering like the State of the Union over the radio. And he was also talking about like how, over the radio, you kind of had the ability to have a more relaxed conversation, such as what FDR did with his fireside chats. It wasn't, a regimented formal thing. It was more like informal, more of a, we're kind of having a connection. We're having just a general conversation. And I started to think, honestly, I look at podcasts in much the same way. You can have more relaxed, more informal conversation that is easily accessible to the listener, and an easy to use platform for the developer. So, I started really thinking, I was like, we could benefit from a podcast for the Louisville Muslim community, and really that's what it's all about for Ihya502. So speaking more about the format, so this is going to be short form podcasts, so expect 30 to 45 minutes per episode, and I have 3 different segments. I will be publishing 3 episodes per month, so we'll have like a bye week in each month where it's just like no episode published, or if time is available and I'm feeling it, a more relaxed segment. We might discuss maybe sports, maybe current events, something more lighthearted. So for the segments, the first segment is titled Muslim Musings. This is where I will be inviting a guest to discuss a topic that we both agreed to discuss. So I'm definitely interested in bringing a variety of people from across our Muslim community People from the Somali community, people from the Bosnian community, people from the Pakistani community, people from the Senegambian community. I'll also be bringing on guests who have, different specialties, different roles. They're serving a, different role in the community. So this will include the different imams we have, Muslim counselors, Muslim business owners, Muslim doctors. The second segment is reading between the lines. That segment is where my wife and I will be discussing a book. It could be fiction, it could be nonfiction, but a book we've read. We might talk about a certain theme, a certain parable, something we took away. And inshallah, this kind of helps promote, more reading in our little Muslim community. You might hear of a book that you've never read before, and you're like, the way they explain it, hey, let's give it a read ourselves. The third segment is the Suhba Roundtable. So this is also a group. Alhamdulillah, we've been going many months strong. The Suhba is a group for young Muslim men to help them develop, character traits and virtues that will help them succeed in their adult life. We're talking anything from, skills development, time management, a development of a sense of responsibility, supporting the community. Alhamdulillah, it's been going on for many months now. And so the Suhba Roundtable is we'll have a number of members will gather together and record a discussion on, once again, a pertinent topic that affects us somehow. Now, these topics will range from, something that affects us, as practicing Muslims, topics that affect us as residents of the city of Louisville. So, we're definitely going to keep this pertinent. As for the goals, I have a few that I'm really gonna hold firmly to. First is, inshallah, Ihya502 will serve as, a means by which more and more of our community start thinking critically about topics or issues that, once again, affect us. Affect some of our members or all. In that podcast format, this is going to be more of a conversation. This is not going to be a means by which, names will be, used, no name dropping, no gossiping, no, nagging, for lack of a better word. We want our community to benefit from this podcast. So that's the first goal. The second goal is to build a sense of interconnectedness. Alhamdulillah, we have a very diverse, a very vibrant Muslim community that's made up of many ethnicities. We have people living from, Southwest Louisville, like Valley Station, to, Northeast Louisville, Prospect, Goshen, Pee Wee Valley. We have a large population. So we want to build a kind of interconnectedness where we can use this platform to discuss things that are relevant to us, and potentially, we might be a conduit to build relationships between people that may not know each other until listener A sees guest B and they're like, I really want to meet this person. I really want to do work together with this person. Inshallah, those two goals are paramount to this work. Those who know me closely know that I treat anything that I get involved with a high degree of dignity and respect. Once again, this isn't going to be a shock jock, podcast where it's like, oh, let's say outrageous things to, upset, people. There will be some topics that may challenge either people's beliefs or the way they've been doing things, but it'll be in a way that's respectful. So like I said, no ghiba, no backbiting, no name dropping. We're going to avoid that with Ihya502. So inshallah, I'm excited for this journey, and may Allah put benefit in it, and render reward to both those who appear, those who develop the podcast, and those who listen, inshallah. So jazakallah khairan, wassalamu alaikum.